Let's stay then with the Mandela Day theme, and this year's theme is do what you can with what you have wherever you are. And we'll discuss this with our guest, a businesswoman and member of the International Women's Forum in South Africa, Nonhlanhla Mjoli-Mncube. I tell you, her profile is quite impressive. Thank you so much for joining us. You know, when one goes through your profile, you just wonder how many hours does she have in a day to do all of this. Quite impressive. But I'd like us to start with the work that you do as the managing director of Mjoli Development, company, and really, because this is a business that is multifaceted, quite diverse. Talk to us briefly about what you do.
Basically, we started in housing, and then construction, and then property, and ended up in finance. But basically, the motive is the same. Unless people have got access to finance, unless they've got access to decent accommodation, the economy will not grow. And so my own driving force is that it is critical that people get access to finance and that people get to play in the economy, and that way they will all feel as citizens of South Africa. So if you look at the whole portfolio of what we do, is all around that.
And one of the things that, you mentioned, which is quite important, has been the issue of funding. And one of the things that you've done, with your vast experience in the construction sector, has been that, there's been the Housing Finance Guarantee Company, and this looks at, women and black people in general. This also talks to the issue of transformation, does it not?
No, it does, because just quickly, if you think of in terms of 1994, there were no black people who were contractors. There were no black women who were active in the construction industry. And the reason why they were not active is because they couldn't access bank finance. And so that's really the journey.
And for you, would you say, having looked at, this particular sector, is it only, finance that is an impediment for a black woman to be able to access, or are there other factors at play?
There will always be other factors. There always will have to have skill. You'll have to have, actually we all need push-up. All of us, someone has taken you by the hand, has taken me by the hand, and they've given you those kind of qualities, those kind of skills you didn't have. So if you look at the women when they start in housing, most of them, they've done it before professionally. So they need that professionalization of what they're doing, because the moment you professionalize, then you can access the private sector, you can access government, you can access anyone you want. But if you are not professionalized, you won't be able to do it, even though you may know how to do it.
Is the support, though, always available? Because, you talk about the pushing, and the pushing is really at the heart of what people need. Is it always available, though, when it comes to this particular sector, when one really zones in to, housing and construction?
I'll just make a quick comment that my dad used to say, that for any constraint, there's a solution. You really have to determine that you need to look for the solution. So even in this one, the reason why there are still women contractors who are successful is because they've pushed. They've actually looked for the solution. And if I ever had to have one word to say, is that all of us need to really believe in ourselves, and we need to push.
Have we moved in terms of transformation, would you say?
We started moving, and then we stalled. And unfortunately, having grown up in rural areas, most of the transformation we see it among the middle class. We see it among the urban. When you go to rural areas, transformation is a dream. So we all have to do our work. Especially now it's Mandela's Day. We need to think about how do we go about being more than what we could be.
And I was going to get to that, because it talks about do what you can, from wherever you are. But, rural areas are sometimes even neglected in terms of young people and being given some of the, career options, someone unlocking their minds about the possibilities that lie, out there. You are also somebody very, very, much championing education, championing it even through a career day, for example. Let's talk about that and the importance of making sure that these young people are not left behind.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a developmentalist, and I think I'm an activist for economic development. And one thing that's clear is, unless we do something, all of us, intergenerational poverty will never end. The cleverest among us are only where we are because someone took us by the hand, we went to university, but there are a lot of kids there who don't even know where to start, who don't even know how to access NSFAS, scholarships. And so the reason why we're doing a career day as a group of professionals from Mzimkulu is exactly that. Let's go back, let's plow back, let's pull those kids, let's open their eyes and open their doors. And then their job is to study.
And how then do you begin to create opportunities to make sure that post that career day, they do have some kind of opportunities? And how as a country can we also do better on that front?
It's critical that the principals and the teachers are involved, because otherwise it's a once-off situation. Some fancy people come from Johannesburg, they do things and the kids go home feeling happy for nothing. The principals in this case are quite involved. And then we can work with the principal going forward. But unless the teachers and the principals and the parents are involved, it's a one-day occasion.
You know, there's often this debate sometimes in the public domain where people say, no, but why should I go to school? I'm not going to be able to get, a job. Others say, no, you don't necessarily need school. You can be able to do whatever you want, however way. But for a young person watching tonight, let's talk to them about the importance of education when it comes to unlocking some of these opportunities that they're looking to go into.
The truth of the matter is we all know people who have no education, who are successful, but it's anecdotal. Because the majority of us, 99% of us, in order to be successful, we need to be educated and we need to work hard. I always say to the kids, this is only in the dictionary where success comes before work. You've got to work.
And that brings us to the end of our conversation. But thank you so much, because I'm sure a lot of young people that are watching tonight are always thinking about the impediments to, getting to what they want. But now we've just really told them that actually the breaking down of doors can indeed happen. Thank you so much. We do appreciate it. That is Nonhlanhla Mjoli-Mncube, who's a businesswoman. I tell you, if you were to look her up and her profile, you will be amazed at what she has achieved.